Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Zandra Moore, for those of you who've just joined. I'm the CEO of Panintelligence, and today's session we're going to be giving you an overview of what Exchequer Analytics can do for your organisation in helping you to better visualise and access the data from your Exchequer system, and in fact any other database that you've currently got in your business. So what is Exchequer Analytics? Well, Exchequer Analytics is a dashboard solution. So it is a self-service reporting tool for all of your data. So not only can it access the data in your Exchequer system, but you can connect this to any data in your organisation. It's designed so that anybody in the business, users and non-users of your databases, such as Exchequer, can build reports for themselves. So if you have a sales team on the road that wants to be able to access information in Exchequer and they want to be able to see information around perhaps invoicing and sales, they will be able to not only consume that information without going near Exchequer, but actually build those reports for themselves. But you don't need to be in Exchequer Analytics to be able to access this information. It can also schedule reports and alerts to you as data changes. So if data moves over a threshold, or you want to just receive an inbox emailed report on a Monday morning with certain transactions, that can also be done without, again, anybody needing to come into the system to consume the data. So not only is it easy to use and accessible, it will alert you and notify you to any changes in data. As you can see, you can access this on any device. So it's one solution irrespective of how you're consuming that data. It could be on your mobile, outside of the office, desktop, laptop. We don't install any software on your devices. So we're simply going to a URL and consuming that data through the browser. So it's a really robust and proven solution. We have lots of Exchequers using this, and this solution's been out in the marketplace now for 7 years. So this isn't something very new. It's proven and established. Yes, it's easy to use to set up, which we will show you today how easy it is to use. But better than that, we're a UK company. We've had a relationship with Advance for 7 years. We're a very accessible team, and we will support you and them to make sure that this is the best solution it can be for your business. We're trusted by lots of companies, not just Advance, to provide them with the self-service reporting tools. In fact, I'm sure some of the software you're using in your businesses, we already have other solutions over. So you may have actually accessed or seen solutions or our solution in particular before. You can give your customers access to data, or in fact any stakeholders in your business. So it may be initially you're just looking to give non-users of Exchequer access to information, or simply as Exchequer users have easier control and access of your information. But consider who else in your organisation is constantly asking you for information. Is it other teams, or even perhaps customers or suppliers, that you could use this as a gateway into information? It's priced so that we can deliver value quickly to you. We'll cover that at the end of the session today, but you should be able to get up and running within a couple of days with a self-service platform at a price which I think will surprise you. So it's affordable, accessible and easy to use. And we're fully PCI compliant and GDPR compliant, so no data is held on any devices. It's world-class security. You can be absolutely rest assured that your users will only get access to the information you want them to see. Build once, everybody has a different version of the truth based on what you've given them access to. We have got a new version of our product. So I say we've had Exchequer Analytics in the marketplace for 7 years. The latest version, if you've seen this before, like I say, is fully mobile. We have lots of new charting over projects and job costing data that wasn't there before, and an extended chart library of pre-configured charts and reports. We've also got some additional role-based dashboards pre-configured for people like managing directors and finance directors of the business. So let's jump into the software and give you a tour of what you can expect to see. So when you log into the software, it will apply the security of what you can and can't do, and also, more importantly, what you can and can't see. So in this scenario, I've got full access to all of the pre-configured charts and dashboards in the system. I'm currently looking at a chart that's designed for a finance director. So as a finance director, I can simply select on perhaps a couple of years that I want to compare, or maybe I simply want to drill down on some debtors and creditors control accounts and see what's going on with those transactions. And again, this is designed so that you can drill down very easily into a transaction line view, drill up and drill down and consume that data for yourself without having to necessarily understand where that's coming from the Exchequer system. So very simple to consume. But it's not just visualization transactions. It is all about getting down to that transaction line data. So it's not just having a high-level view of information. You want to be able to go down and see the transactions underneath that. So again, if I look at this P&L analysis here and select a particular period, and these periods would reflect your underlying transaction periods, so we would reflect that in exactly what we're drilling down into. You'll be able to get down into those transaction lines and sales across your nominal ledger and so on. So I'm drilling down here through a product line right the way down into ultimately a transaction line account. Lots of layers of drill path in this example here. But fundamentally what you want to get down to are those individual transactions. And what we can do with that data is we can drag that data out into any form of template. So it could be a PDF, it could be Excel, so simply clicking export to Excel, or download a data file that can be shared. You can switch that off as well, so if you don't want people getting that data out into any system at all, then you can lock that back and stop users from doing that. So very easy to get data files out. In this scenario, I've actually created a very, very small data file. There's not much information in it here, but it could be a very large data file, and we can extract that data out as easily. So simple consumer experience. If you wanted to filter everything on the page, so let's have a look at some customer information. And maybe the salespeople are wanting to be able to understand what's going on with an individual customer, you know, what they owe us, transaction lines. In this scenario here, if I just remove this sample chart I was building earlier, you'll see on the top right-hand corner that we have a filter option. This allows me to slice and dice all of the charts that are on this page. In this case, I'm just looking at one particular financial year. If I select all financial years, or I could even pick a different company or a customer and press apply, it will redraw all of those charts and reports based on that new filter parameter. This could be cost center, department, analysis code, and we can look at any variable in your underlying system. So if you're using analysis codes heavily, again, we can use those analysis codes to report on, to slice and dice data on, or even to drill down into. So one very simple view of giving people access to information in real time that they can consume for themselves. You'll notice here that we have some kind of light bulb charts. Those colours can change as the data changes, so you can put KPI notifications behind those. So if the data goes into a certain range, you may actually want to be notified or sent an email of those customers on stop. In this case, I've drilled down into the overdue sales orders. I can see that very easily, and again, I could email that to somebody, or if I wanted, I could schedule that to burst on a report schedule, so that could go out to somebody's inbox on a Monday morning at 9 o'clock. So very simple to drive people to the exceptions of data that you want them to be able to consume for themselves. So build once, and it's always a live, real-time experience for your users, so you're not having to constantly rebuild these charts and reports for your customers. But we do go one step further. We enable you to build these charts and reports very easily for yourself. So if I click on this little three dots at the top right-hand corner of this cell, you'll notice that we've got some other options. Now this is, again, something you can switch on and off for your users, and we would call these users designers. So designers are people that can go in and start to create new views of the data that other people can pick up those charts and consume them for themselves. So in this case, I've created a new cell on the page. Now I may want to go to a chart library and pick out a chart that already exists and drop that onto my page. Now, a user that hasn't got the ability to build charts could do that. They could go and select and create their own layouts of the charts they want. So perhaps your C-suite, your managing director, finance directors just want to be able to select those charts that they want to build for themselves. Alternatively, you might want to give them access to building new charts. So again, you'll see this create new chart option here. If I select that for a second, it will then expose all of the data connections in your underlying systems. In this case, we've got multiple databases here. We've got the Exchequer systems for finance, but we've also got other advanced software applications such as Cyclops, Service Director, which are field service monitoring and scheduling applications that can be used, which you can also connect to and build charts over. So a good example of how we can connect to multiple databases and allow users to be able to report on anything that's in your business. So one view of everything going in your organisation. You'll see here I'm looking at Exchequer transactions, so I may simply want to look at some customer data. So if I select customer, and you'll see use defined fields here exposed if you're using use defined fields. And now I'm going to pick a y-axis. So let's have a look at some transaction value. So let's have a look at net value in base by customer. So I'm just picking the objects in the underlying transaction base, and that will automatically draw me out a bar chart. Now we have lots of different charting options, so these could be line charts or pie charts. We have mapping, so you can see visualizations of where your customers are across the map, but lots of different ways in which you can consume this data based on the type of data it is. In this scenario, I think a bar chart is probably our best option. And we'll now move down to the next line of data. So by picking a plus on the left-hand side, I can go back to my data and say, okay, what do I want to report on based on this customer? So I've got net value in base. I may still want to bring the customer information through. So let's also add the customer name in. And if I just change that to a data table, so we're drilling into transaction lines now, I can start to build that table out. So again, back to the data, I may decide to look at some other information. So I might want to look at the financial year that they brought that in. I'll go back and bring the customer in because I just switched that off for a second. So I bring back the customer. I may be looking at perhaps, let's have a look at some other information around transactions. So perhaps the quantity they bought as another value alongside that, and so on. We can start to build any metrics out from the database. So I'm just going to put Minerva in the top here and press save. So that's now a chart that's available in the library for anybody to use and consume. But again, it will only show them the data that they're allowed to see. So if they can only see a particular customer or a particular product, that's all the data they'll be able to see. I can consume it in exactly the same way. I can zoom in, I can drill down, and it will show me the transaction line, and I can then get that data out into Excel. So fantastic for users and non-users of Exchequer to be able to consume and build charts and reports themselves more easily. You'll notice here that a filter is applied on the page. If I then remove all financial years and just pick one, so let's just pick 2015, and maybe let's pick another one. Let's pick 2012 as well. And press apply. It'll redraw all those charts, including the one that I've just built, passing through that filter parameter to redraw the data so that we can see that information very easily from multiple years in this scenario. But these could be multiple cost centres and so on. You can see here it's automatically doing a year-on-year comparison, and it's showing me a very different chart in the middle. So true self-service reporting for anyone in your organisation to access that data very, very easily. As far as the time it takes to get something like this up and running, Exchequer Analytics is a pre-configured solution. That means it's really quick and easy for us to land on site, install it on your existing SQL server for Exchequer, point it at your database, and be able to start building reports within the first day, new reports over your data. All of the charts and reports that you've seen today will just switch on automatically. So you'll already have a pre-configured set of charts and reports that you can use. But within a day, you'll be able to start building out those charts and reports over the things that you need for your business. And more importantly, in the second day, we'll fully train you so that you can do all of this for yourself and self-serve. So 2 days on site, a consultant can be up and running with you. Clearly, if you want more time and want more support, you can take more time from Minerva, who are fully trained and accredited to be able to deliver these services. As far as the starting solution, for £2,500, you have a system up and running with a pre-configured set of charts and reports. So a really easy entry point for you to get this solution in your hands and in your business straight away.